here is your AI briefing for May 30th, 2026, with 12 stories. Story 1. What happens when companies become too AI-pilled? ClickUp cut 22% of its workforce for AI agents, while tech layoffs in 2026 nearly match all of 2025, per Aaron Levy's AI psychosis warning. ClickUp's cuts show how AI adoption can be used to justify shrinking headcount while shifting work onto software agents. The broader wave of layoffs suggests companies are treating AI as a replacement strategy rather than a productivity tool. Calling layoffs AI psychosis fits. The execs who barely understand the work are using agents as a rake to trim payroll, not a plan to improve it. Story 2. OpenAI's internal AI model just solved an 80-year-old math problem, and mathematicians verified it. OpenAI's internal model solved the 1940s planar unit distance problem, beating the 1984 record, with mathematicians verifying the solution. The breakthrough gives researchers a verified computational route that surpassed the long-standing best bound from 1984. It also shows an internal model can contribute directly to frontier mathematics, not just generate conjectures. OpenAI gets a prestige win, and mathematicians get paid in bragging rights. But the real casualty is every press release that now calls software intelligence. Story 3. AI is already answering your 911 calls for help. AI systems handle 62% of non-emergency 911 calls nationwide, with 94% success, freeing human dispatchers for critical emergencies. The systems route routine caller triage and information requests to software before a dispatcher ever answers. That shift reduces hold times on emergency lines and lets staff focus on life-threatening incidents. Letting software answer 62% of non-emergency 911 calls is efficient, but it also turns a public safety lifeline into a glorified triage script. Story 4. NVIDIA, Microsoft, and ARM are all teasing NVIDIA's new N1X laptop processors. NVIDIA, Microsoft, and ARM will unveil ARM-powered laptop chips at Computex this weekend. Following coordinated social media teasers on X, N1X is NVIDIA's first laptop-focused ARM processor, positioning the company to challenge Qualcomm and Intel in Windows PCs. The coordinated reveal suggests Microsoft is backing a broader push for ARM-based notebooks at Computex. A new era of PC teaser is just NVIDIA doing launch theater until the N1X ships, and Microsoft ARM get to borrow the hype for free. Story 5. After NVIDIA's $20 billion not acqui-hire, AI chip startup Grok reportedly raising $650 million. Grok secures $650 million in internal funding to pivot from hardware toward AI inference, refining how models respond to prompts. The new capital is aimed at software that optimizes prompt handling and response generation instead of chasing more custom silicon. That pivot positions Grok to compete on inference efficiency as demand shifts from training to serving models. Grok's $650 million pivot says the hardware race got expensive fast, and investors are now funding the inference story they were sold after the chip 1 sag. Story 6. Measured launches MCP server, bringing marketing performance data into ChatGPT, Claude, and other AI platforms. Measured announced MCP server, letting enterprise brands like Otter.ai access real-time marketing incrementality data directly inside ChatGPT, Claude, and other AI platforms. The server uses the Model Context Protocol to expose measured marketing metrics as structured tools that AI assistants can call on demand. Teams can compare incrementality, attribution, and channel performance inside the chat interface instead of switching dashboards. Measured's MCP server sells convenience, yet piping incrementality data into ChatGPT, and Claude mostly turns model interfaces into prettier dashboards for marketers already drowning in reports. Story 7. Brands are using influencer social content to lead the agentic discovery race, new Statosphere data shows. Enterprise brands doubled social SEO creator campaigns in 2025 as AI answer engines displaced traditional search. driving a 153% surge in influencer-driven discovery. Creators are producing more short-form and product-focused posts designed to be quoted by AI systems that answer shopper queries directly. That shift gives brands a new visibility path when traditional organic search clicks decline. A 153% surge in creator campaigns means brands are paying influencers to game answer engines now that search is just SEO with a chatbot-shaped front door. Story 8. Glean's top line crosses $300 million as AI budget cutting becomes its major selling point. Glean tripled annual revenue to cross $300 million as tech giants enter AI search, positioning budget cutting as its key differentiator. The company is turning its enterprise search and knowledge tools into a clearer cost savings pitch for buyers facing pressure to trim software spend. That framing may help it compete against larger AI search offerings that emphasize capability over savings. Glean's real pitch is austerity, not magic. If AI search wins by cutting budgets, the vendors with fatter margins lose first. Story 9. AI is moving into the terminal, and retailers are paying attention. Jean-Philippe Niedergang details how retailers integrate embedded AI and biometrics into checkout terminals as part of their retail intelligence layer. Retailers are embedding AI directly into payment terminals to analyze transactions in real time and support more personalized checkout decisions. Biometric authentication adds another layer of identity verification, reducing friction and fraud at the point of sale. Retailers are calling checkout terminals intelligence layers, while quietly inviting more biometrics, more surveillance, and fewer cashier jobs. Story 10. Botnet of more than 17 million devices dismantled. A botnet exceeding 17 million devices was dismantled, linked to a Russia-based residential proxy network operation. The takedown removed one of the largest consumer device hijacking operations ever found, with compromised machines spread across the globe. Its infrastructure used residential proxies to hide traffic and sell access to attackers. 17 million devices sounds dramatic until you remember most were probably rented out as someone else's proxy rack, not a cartoon evil bot army. Story 11. Mustafa Suleyman's case against open-source AI shortcuts. Mustafa Suleyman warns companies that relying on cheap distilled AI models creates unsustainable shortcuts that ultimately fail. Suleyman argues that distilled models inherit hidden dependencies on larger systems, so the apparent savings disappear when quality and maintenance costs rise. He says enterprises that chase the cheapest route will end up rebuilding on sturdier foundations later. Suleyman's warning is simple. Cheap distilled models save cash now, then lock companies into brittle shortcuts and technical debt they'll pay for later. Story 12. How the Pope's Magnificat Humanitas offers a template for individuals to meet the AI moment. Pope Leo XIV's new encyclical on artificial intelligence includes a statement that warrants serious attention from technologists and policymakers. Technology is never neutral. Magnificat Humanitas, magnificent. The encyclical frames AI as a moral and political issue, arguing that its tools reflect the values of the people building them. That gives faith leaders and regulators a shared language for demanding human accountability in deployment. The Pope's line that technology is never neutral lands harder than most AI policy papers, especially when the biggest winners still act like bias is a feature request. That is the briefing for today.